Hi, today I am going to show you how to do brioche to make this quick mug rug. First thing you need to do is cast on 21 stitches and you place a marker 2 stitches from each end and knit 2 rows. And then we'll be ready to begin. The first 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches are going to be worked in garter stitch throughout, so that just gives you a border. This is actually upside down. This is really the way it goes. And then we have brioche in the center. Each brioche row takes 2 passes, one going this way, another one going that way, because you only knit half the stitches or work half the stitches each time. So we've cast on, I'm going to zoom this in a little bit, we've cast on our 21 stitches and we've placed a marker after the first 2 stitches and before the last 2 stitches. So we'll begin. We're just going to knit the first 2 stitches for our border. The next stitch, this is our setup row for the brioche. We're going to knit the first stitch and we're going to yarn over slip one. So to do that, you bring the yarn to the front and you slip the stitch. And then your yarn is in the back, you're ready to knit this next stitch. So you can see the yarn over kind of crosses over and forms an X on the top of your needle. So we're going to do this until we get to the next marker. Knit 1, yarn over, slip 1. Knit 1, yarn over, slip 1. Yarn over, slip 1, and then we're ending with a knit 1. So there's an odd number of stitches between the markers. We start with a knit 1 and we end with a knit 1. And then we'll knit the last 2 stitches. Okay, the second part of the setup, we're just going to turn our work like normal and we'll knit the first 2 stitches. Okay, now we're basically going to do the same thing as we did the last time, except the stitches that were knit the last time will be slipped this time. So slip 1, yarn over, slip 1, and then on this stitch where the yarn over crossed over the stitch that we slipped, we're going to do a BRK or Burke. And it's very much like a knit 2 together. So you just knit the 2 strands together. And if you get confused, just look at your work, and if there's a single stitch, that is the stitch that will be slipped. So yarn over, slip 1, Burke or BRK, brioche knit. In this example, we won't be doing a brioche purl, but that's abbreviated BRP, and sometimes they call it brioche purl and sometimes they call it burp. So Burke and burp. So yarn over, slip 1 is the next stitch, Burke or knit 2 together. For me, it's almost easier to think of the terms that I already know well, so I think of it more as a knit 2 together, but you'll see it written both ways, and most commonly Burke rather than a knit 2 together. So yarn over, slip 1, Burke, yarn over, slip 1, Burke, yarn over, slip 1. So now we're to the end of our setup, and we're going to repeat 2 rows until we are to the top of our mug rug. I did not count how many rows that was, but you just do it till it's square. And keep going. So this row, all of the stitches have been worked. So our first stitch will be, but we'll do our knit 2 for our border, and then we're gonna burk, slip 1 yarn over, burk, slip 1 yarn over to the end of the row. Knitting the first 2, burk, yarn over, slip 1, yarn over, slip 1, now in our next pass we'll just be doing the opposite of what we're doing now. So the ones that were yarn over, slip 1 in this pass, in the next pass will be burks. Okay, so we're to the end of the row, get to our marker, and we just knit the last 2. Okay, this is going to get repetitive from now on. It already has been a bit repetitive, but we'll knit these first 2 stitches for our border. And this row, because we see just a single stitch there, we know that we're starting off with yarn over, slip 1, and then burk. And it takes a while before you start seeing the actual pattern. In here, I think I've done a couple of rows so you can see that you're starting to see the brioche. But on this finished sample, as you get further on, you get maybe 3 or 4 passes, it starts to get thick and squishy like brioche bread. There's a lot of texture and definite hills and valleys between the knit stitches, and they're knit stitches on this side, but you can kind of see how the yarn over is behind the actual knit stitch. So if I am, let's see, I guess I can use this as a pointer. You see that is the knit stitch, but this is the yarn over, and that's the yarn over. So if we put this needle behind them, you see the knit stitch, and to each side, you see where the yarn over stitches are. So this row of what looks like knit stitches are burks. If you turn that over, it's the valley on the other side. So it's kind of interesting anatomy of the stitch, different than a regular knit stitch, but very fun to do, and you get this nice squishy fabric. So very worthwhile doing. When I first started knitting, I saw somebody doing it and I thought, well, that just looks like ribbing, but it is definitely very different. I thought it looks like ribbing and it's a lot more involved, so why should I do that? But the reason that you do that is because you get this nice squishy fabric and it's kind of addicting. So you may catch the bug, the brioche bug, just like me. Thank you for watching. See y'all soon. Bye.